wanted to ask you about the the Devon versus Levan match that is going to be on the summer. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Devon is the underdog in that match. I don't think he's out of it, but I think he's the underdog. I think Levan is a lot more skillful and technical than he gets credit for. I mean, he gets lots of credit for just being powerful.
Yeah.
And you can't take that away from him. But I don't think in super matches, I don't think I've seen him lose a match. I think I've seen him pull three or four super matches, and I think he's won every one of them.
Every Levan loss I've seen, it was in tournaments.
That's what I'm thinking. So has this guy really gone 36 or 45 matches in super matches in a row and not lost? Because if that's true, the boy's got some skills. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the boy's making some adjustments, because I can't think of anybody else who's done that. I mean, maybe somebody like Engen Terzi, maybe, or Giannis, maybe a little guy who was just so far ahead of the rest of the field. But to do that at super heavyweight means you've got speed and you've got some options, because I don't know how many. I was just trying to think, and I tried to go back and look, but I mean, I think the boy's been pulling super matches for years, and I think he just boom, boom. I just think he wins all of them.
Yeah, I've looked for him.
And it doesn't look like he's working that hard.
Yeah, he don't even breathe hard or even sweat. I thought I didn't count Dave Chafee out of their super match, but I thought Dave would at least get the first match. And I was surprised when, I don't know if it was the rules of the event, but that I do believe if Dave would have gotten the strap, things would have been different. But it was impressive the way Levan controlled everything with his hand.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can see that. But super matches tend to be lopsided. You know, a close super match is fairly rare. They're usually 3-0 one way, or 4-1 or something. I mean, it's really hard to see a super match come down to like one or two matches, without, if it's not fouls or that kind of stuff. I mean, straight up, people getting pinned. Because usually somebody just shows up a little better one day, and if you've got 2 or 3% on somebody, that's enough to go 6-0 on somebody if you have to. But yeah, I thought Dave would have done better. I think Dave would do better in a rematch. I think if they pulled again this year, I don't think Levan would dominate him like that. I think they would have both made adjustments, but I think Dave probably learned a lot more from that match than Levan did.
Yes. I'm the guy that's saying, I mean, Devon Lara has been in arm wrestling for decades. He's accomplished some wonderful things, and I don't see everybody is saying that Devon is climbing the mountain. I don't see it like that, because Levan is relatively new to the scene. Like, he's being famous now, but Devon, everybody has known Devon for years. So to me, I would wish that Devon wins, and I do not count him out, because I believe if you can stop Levan, you can beat him. Every loss he has, it's guys that can stop him. Gennady stopped him and beat him. Even Kashmir, being like 100, 150 pounds less in body weight, stopped him and beat him. He was on fouls, but he wasn't in a losing position. He was neutral or on his side. So if Devon can do his open top roll King's move thing and stop him the first match, I think Devon has a really, really good chance of winning that super match. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think the King of the Table promotion, the rules favor Devon. I don't think Levan has any experience.
I agree with that. I think King of the Table favors Devon. I think what's most impressive about Devon was after losing to Michael Todd, going home, coming back and beating Michael Todd in a way I did not think he'd come back and totally control Michael Todd's hand. You know, I was expecting him to do kind of what he was doing before or something like that. But when Devon came back with a whole new game plan and kept Michael Todd in the center of the table and just pinned him, it was like, that was a whole new arm wrestler. That was a whole new Devon. Now Devon had a lot of matches with Michael Todd. So that's some, you know, he had some data to work with. I don't know if Devon's ever pulled Levan. Now he has pulled Dennis Simplinkoff. So maybe based on that, he can say, okay, these guys pull kind of similar. But I'm not speaking for Devon, but in my experience, some of these elite guys, I got to pull them several times before I figure out, you know, where a possible path is. Devon has more options than that. Maybe Devon sees a hole in that game, you know, or maybe Devon just bets big to win big. I don't know.
He goes into a match with a plan, and I agree. At first, when they announced the super match in King of the Table with Devon and Michael Todd, I didn't want it to happen because the one in the WEL was so bad and so horrible. I believe it damaged the image of the sport because it was really, really, really ugly. Like even Devon, like trying to going on top of the table, trying to pin him, and you saw Michael under the table with his elbow, and it was bad. I mean, it wasn't good for arm wrestling, and I didn't want it to happen. So I do think Devon made it right. He got stronger and beat him in a way that it put that everybody forgot about that match after the King of the Table.
Yeah.
So
Devon looked like he just went out there and did classic arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Know? Against one of the best in the world, you know, and like made it look like there were levels difference between those two. That Devon winning wasn't as surprising as the way he won. I mean, a lot of people predicted Devon to win. Maybe only his teammates predicted Devon to win that way. You know, just, he's just going to grab Michael Todd by the hand and keep him in the center of the table. I go, man, people have been trying that since John did it, you know, and not too many people can do that.
Actually, Devon did just what John did. He controlled in a top position and just went through him. John was saying he put out the blueprint and how to beat the King's move.
He did, but that just goes to John Brezink did it when he weighed like 225 pounds. Devon didn't need to gain no 80 pounds to arm wrestle with his hand. You know? I mean, Devon might have increased his body size 20%, but his hand didn't get 20% bigger. You know?
Yeah. And based on what
statically, you know.
Yeah, and based on what we saw on the John Brezink versus Devon match this past December, we talked about it last time. Devon's hand has to be like in another level, like really strong.
Yeah, and he's got decent fingers on it too, man. I bet you you just feel like you're being swallowed by a bear with Devon's hand right now. But I can't imagine what Levan's hand feels like either, you know.
What?
I can't imagine what Levan's hand feels like because, you know, Levan also has a big, thick, strong hand.
But Larry Wills said that John's hand is as thick and as big as Levan's, and that his thumb was thicker than Levan's.
Yeah.
So Devon,
John's got some big old mitts on him for a normal guy.
Yeah. If I were Devon, I would train with John at least a couple of times before the match when it's getting closer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
and John's training now, so I mean, he can probably arrange that. But John and Devon probably have a rematch coming. That John might not be interested in that.
no, I remember when this whole Devon versus John super match at King of the Table started. It started in a Zoom call that John did with Devon, and Devon asked John what was he gonna do it when he beats I can't remember the name though, the Russian that lives in Texas, Dimitri. And John said he was gonna go after Devon if he defeated Dimitri. And in that Zoom call, after he said that, he said they were gonna have a rematch 6 months later. So John wasn't expecting much of him in that match with Devon, and he wants to get him back for that. He was already thinking about it.
So how many months it's been? It's got to been 2 or 3 months since then, right? We got to become that 6 month mark's got to be coming pretty soon.
Yeah, 6 months. It will be like in May. May would be like 6 months, but it would be like really, really great that if Devon, and I do believe this could happen, if Devon defeated Levan and then the rematch with John would happen, that match would sell because John would be ready, and he will come to that match wanting to win bad. He won't go like, he was like really calm and wasn't like really fighting a lot because he said that he didn't feel any control, but he's going to work for that control now, and it would be amazing. That I don't even want to talk about it. People will get angry. maybe Devon defeats Levan, and then John defeats Devon. People will get on my case. people
arm wrestlers have thin skin, that's for sure.
Yeah. And Todd, what's next for you now?
I'm going to Turkey in February.
With the East versus West in Turkey promotion. And who are you gonna pull there?
I say his name wrong, but I think it's Zonef Jordan. I gotta look it up. I was concentrating on the match last Saturday, so starting tomorrow, I'm gonna figure out how to spell the kid's name. I'm gonna start watching videos on him, but I'm getting picked some big, strong, young kid. So he's gonna be younger, stronger, bigger, and faster than me. So
it's my impression that this matches are set up to favor the Europeans. That's my opinion. It's set up like
Engen and Neil Pickup have a unique way of setting up matches. I think they try to make them close. I really think the problem is when you grab Americans, our best arm wrestlers tend to be old, and it's East versus West, but predominantly it's the world versus the USA and 2 or 3 cities of Canada. It's not like we divide the planet in two. We take 80% of the land mass and we make it against 15%.
Yeah, that's what I said. And I mean this is my opinion. When I saw the lineup, and I was discussing this in a field forum, and I do believe it's set up for the East guys to lose. I mean, I believe John will win. I believe you will win. But the other guys, like Evan versus Schoolboy, I not taking anything away from Evan, but
but that's kind of East versus East because Schoolboy is but Schoolboy's American now and Evan's Canadian, so that's West versus West. When you live in America full time, you don't get to be Russian anymore.
But does he live in America? Because I haven't seen him in videos or anything from his brother's channel. Does he
Oh,
actually live in the
well,
United
to
States
be
now?
honest, I've seen him in America a lot. I don't actually know. Maybe he's back in Russia, but it seems to me all the videos I saw, he was pulling in America or Canada. But I'll be honest, I don't know. You know?
Like when he won the WAF World Championship, he was pulling in Russia, and I don't think he came back from that.
Okay.
So I think he's still in Russia.
Oh, all right then. Then it's East versus West. Let's go Canada.
I'm not saying he's living there like permanently, but right now I do believe he's still there because it wouldn't make any sense to come back to the United States to go back to Russia to do this event or Turkey. You know, so he would stay there, do the event, and then come back.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I don't know.
But I do believe Endgame has a way to set up matches and do things a way that it comes out the way he wants it. Because I mean, I do remember the Arsene Liliev versus John Bersek match, the super match. That was one of the first super matches that got really good attention.
Yeah, and I think he set Travis up against, I think, Arsene as well. You know.
Yeah, but because I remember something happened with John that he couldn't do it, and then he set it up with Travis, and Travis didn't even train for that. I remember asking his wife in I don't think it was in Facebook or something, and she answered that Travis didn't train for that match. But then the match with John, to me, I believe the reffing was horrible. There was a lot of fouls and a lot of false starts that was going against John. And I hate that match because that's the match that screwed John's right shoulder. That match. After that match, his shoulder went out and he started backpedaling until he retired. And it was an event like this one, you know. So I hope it goes our way, but it's kind of set up for our guys to lose. That's my opinion based on the lineup. Yeah. Because like you said, it's like old guys versus young, fast, strong guys. So, but I always say, old man strength is a thing. You cannot fight old man strength. And I bet you, I know you and John, you have old man strength. Well, I think we've covered a lot of topics tonight. I want to say thank you for doing this again, because the first time we did it, we had some technical difficulties.
Yes, we did.
You have some emails and all that over there, right?
Oh yeah.
Is everything cool now, right?
Say again.
Everything's cool with the weather now, right?
Yeah. It's our winter time, but we don't really get snow too much down here. We get like snow for one day. So yeah, it's nice.
No, I'm really hoping that I've never been to the Arnold Classic, the event, but I'm really hoping I can make that trip. And if I do, I will contact you and maybe train with you one day.
You come on down. That event's 2 hours away from my house. I have a lot of people come to my house after that. They go to that event and then they'll drive down and see me. So you're more than welcome to.
I got two things to see in Ohio: Todd Hutchins and Westsidebarbell.
All right. You can see Westsidebarbell in Columbus. That's probably like within 40 minutes of where the Arnold is.
Yeah. Well, I want those two things I gotta do before I die in Ohio. So
all right.
I hope
if you do that, I want you to bring me a Westsidebarbell t-shirt so you can drop it off at my house.
Really? You don't have a Westsidebarbell t-shirt?
I don't. I gave them all away.
Dude, I got two, and I'm from Puerto Rico. I got two shirts, one black, one red. I mean, you live like they're your neighbors.
Have you ever? And I've talked to him. Yeah, like I said, he's 2 hours away from me.
Have you ever trained in Westsidebarbell?
No, I've talked to him, but I've never been to the actual gym.
Yeah. And have you discussed the way you apply the conjugate system to your arm wrestling training with Louis or some of the guys over there, or Chuck?
In the very early days, I did. When I first discovered Westsidebarbell, I was using it for I was probably in my second year and using it as arm wrestling. And I emailed him. His wife answered back and said, just call him. And I called him like that week. And then I called him a few months later with some other questions. And then, I started reading more and more. And then, Westsidebarbell was always real well known. But then I'd found out he's training UFC fighters and NFL teams. And I said, well, I ain't going to take up this man's, because at that point, I was like a nobody in arm wrestling. I'm like in my fourth year. So I haven't really done anything yet. I go, I'm not going to bother this man. But the fact that they were so helpful and talked to me, like it was important to me, but not them. But they knew it was important to me. So that's why when people email me or text me for stuff, I say I won't online coach you, but I'll help you all I can. And I don't charge people, but I tell them there's stuff I know, there's stuff I believe, and there's stuff I've heard. And I will tell you which is which, but you got to make use of what you can.
I was going to ask you for that. I said, I want to get into the Todd Hutchins side pressure train.
All my stuff's posted. You can, everything I do is public and it's posted. So start there, change it as you see fit. And if I can help, I'll help.
Thank you. Well, I wanted to tell you that PulseoTV means arm wrestling TV. Pulseo is how we know and call arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. In Spain, They call it pulso, or they say pulsos or lucha de brazos in Mexico. But in Puerto Rico, we call it Pulseo. And that's why the channel is called PulseoTV. And we are a really small community. And I've been trying for years to make a good comeback of the sport in the island. And lately it's been going good. And I wanted you, if you can, send a message to the guys in Puerto Rico to keep working and keep doing arm wrestling and supporting the channel, because it's for them. Everything I do, I don't get anything out of this. I do it for them and for the sport. And if you have a message for them, I would really appreciate if you do say something.
I'll be glad to. Do me a favor. Just send me a message to remind me with an outline of what you want me to cover, and I'll be more than happy to put a video together and send it to you.
It's working. So I would like to thank you from PulseoTV, myself, my family, and the arm wrestling community of Puerto Rico, taking this time after your match with Leland, which you won decisively, and everybody told me I was wrong, and I was right. And I really thank you. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Send me that message and I'll get you that video back.
Thank you, Todd. Happy New Year, and we'll keep in contact.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, PulseoTV.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.